Hello everyone. I'm going to show you step by step how to make the little buildings that you see down in the bottom of Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. Now, like I told you in class, we are not going to do these with oil pastel. We are going to make these out of construction paper, and we are going to glue them where they belong in the bottom of Starry Night. So, you're going to need some supplies. You will need some different colors of paper. For each building, you will need 2 colors. You will also need scissors, a pencil, a fat Sharpie, make sure it's not a skinny one, and some glue. You will also need, very important, from this blue box, you will need 1 tracer for each building. This is called a parallelogram, and this is going to be the roof. Now I have different sizes. Some are bigger, some are smaller, and you can use a different tracer for each building if you want, or you can just stick with the same one. Now that you have all the supplies, I want you to take a close look at what we're going to be making. We're going to be making some small buildings. Each one has a roof with a different color of building and some windows and some doors. Some of the windows look like the lights on, some of the windows look like the lights off, and some of the windows have a detail of those little crossbar thingies if the light is on. I'm going to show you how to make buildings like this, including how to make a steeple for the church. Now, to begin, you're going to need a color for your roof and a color for your building, and some black and some yellow for the windows. And like I told you before, the most important thing for this is going to be this parallelogram shape. After you've picked which size you want, you're going to put it on the color that you want to be your roof. And very simple, just trace around it. And then when you're done tracing around it, stop. Don't do any more drawing on this paper. Next, we're going to cut this out. You may pause this video anytime you need to so that you can catch up with me without falling behind. And when you're ready, just press play. Now, when you have that roof shape, you're going to glue it on to a piece of paper that you want to be the color of your building. It does not matter if this has got stuff on it. We're going to draw our little house right here, and then we're going to cut the whole thing out. There. Now, it does not matter which way you glue that roof on. You are now going to do some drawing with your pencil. We are going to draw the side of the building, and you are going to start at the 2 lowest corners, the bottom corners of the roof shape. From one corner, I'm going to draw a line straight down. The length of this line is going to determine the height of the house. So if I want a 1-story house, I won't make these lines as long. If I want a taller house, I could make those lines longer. Now, when I have those 2 straight lines, I'm going to close it up. So basically, now I have a red rectangle. Now, to draw the other side of the house, I'm going to start way up here, and I'm going to make a triangle. This is already one side of my triangle. So I make the second side, and I make the bottom of the triangle. The bottom of the triangle should go right along the bottom edge of that roof shape. Now, I just have one more shape, and that's just going to be a square. Right here, and now I have a little 3D building. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to use my black Sharpie, and I'm going to trace these lines, this rectangle, this square, and that triangle. There. Now my house is ready to be cut out. at this point, I'm going to be using my black and my yellow to create some doors and some windows. You can put your door wherever you want to, on this side of the building, or perhaps your door is on this side of the building, or maybe you have two doors. That's up to you. So I'm just going to use my black paper, and I'm going to cut out a door shape. The door can be shaped however you want. Sometimes people like to get a little fancy, make it pointed on top or round on top. Put a little glue and glue the door where it belongs. And then we need some windows. So I'm going to cut out some windows. I'm going to show you a trick, a little time-saving, a little shortcut trick for cutting out all those tiny little windows and doors. Watch this. I have my yellow piece and I have my scissors. I am going to make a bunch of cuts first. So I'm not going to cut out one window and then cut out another square and then cut out another rectangle. This is going to take a lot less time. Watch this. I find the straight edge of my paper and I just make a slice, 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 slice. How many ever windows you plan on having? Maybe an extra. And then I'm going to cut across and you will see these windows just fall down. See my windows? So, in the time that it took me to make 5 or 6 slices, I have 5 or 6 windows. Really fast, really easy. And you know what? They're all pretty much the same size. I have a collection of windows here. I'm not going to use them all. Yellow windows would be windows if there's a light on inside your house. Black windows would be a window where the light is off inside your house. So I'm going to put my glue on my house. Do not try to put the glue on the tiny pieces. You'll just make a mess on your hands. And I'm going to place my windows where I want them to be. I'm going to show you a glue trick. If I tap my pencil into my glue, it helps me to pick up those windows a lot easier. And it might even have one tiny little attic window up here. I need to make that a little bit smaller. There we go. And there I have one house that is ready to be glued on to my village. I'm going to show you how to change one of your buildings into a church because Vincent van Gogh has a church down here in his village as well. So you'll take one of the buildings that you make it the regular way, and then get a piece of paper that is the same color as the roof. And to do this, we're going to draw a rectangle with a very tall triangle on top. Now, when you have that, you're going to outline everything with your black Sharpie. And if you have a couple of extra windows floating around, you can put some windows down here on the square, a rectangle I should say. And then we're going to cut this out. And we're going to glue it to our roof. You may glue it, I would glue it to the back. So I put a little glue on there and I slip it behind. And I just glue it to the roof, sticking up. And now I have a church for my village. Now you know how to make those little paper buildings for the bottom of our Starry Night picture. Now when you get finished, you should have about 3 buildings. You might have 2 houses and a church, or you might have just 3 houses if you don't want a church. That's up to you. And when you're all finished, it's time to glue them on. So you will decide where you want them to be. Just make sure that they are on the ground part of our picture. A couple of them might overlap, or they may not be touching. That also is up to you. I ask that you glue carefully because we've put a lot of work into this picture and we don't want to mess it up now.